I never thought I'd be one of those guys. You know, the ones who find out their seemingly perfect spouse is living a double life. But I guess that's how it always starts. You don't see it coming until it's already too late. It started with a text, not even a suspicious one, just a ping on her phone at 2:13 a.m. on a random Tuesday night. She was asleep next to me, breathing softly, wrapped in the duvet like a burrito. I wasn't trying to snoop. Her phone was charging on my side of the bed because hers had a faulty cable. The text preview read, "Can't stop thinking about last night. You're incredible." At first I thought it was from a friend, maybe an inside joke or something. But then I noticed the contact name. Noah. Work. I stared at that screen for a solid minute. My heart didn't sink. It plunged straight into my stomach. Still, I didn't open the message. Not that night. I just stared at it until the screen dimmed. Then I lay back down and closed my eyes, pretending I hadn't just seen the cracks in the life I thought was whole. My wife Emily and I had been married for 6 years. We met in grad school, both of us studying psychology, of all things. Irony, right? She was the type of woman people gravitated toward, warm, empathetic, effortlessly beautiful. I remember thinking the first time I saw her that she could read people like open books. Maybe that should have been a red flag. We both got jobs at different clinics after graduating. She worked longer hours, sometimes nights. I didn't mind. We trusted each other, or at least I thought we did. After that night, though, I couldn't stop noticing things. She started locking her phone. She never used to. She laughed at messages she never showed me. She began working late more often, claiming there were emergency clients or team meetings. But I told myself I was being paranoid, that I was projecting. I mean, we're therapists, right? We overanalyze everything. Until one day, she left her laptop open while she was in the shower. I wish I could say I hesitated before looking. I didn't. Her email was open. The inbox seemed normal, but I noticed a folder tucked away near the bottom, labeled simply personal. Inside were hundreds of emails, some innocuous. Others, one in particular, was from Noah, sent 3 weeks earlier. Last night was amazing. I keep thinking about how you said you feel more yourself with me than with him. I want that future with you. Tell me what to do. I'm ready. I closed the laptop like it had burned me. But I didn't confront her, not yet. Instead, I did what any self-respecting, emotionally constipated man in shock would do. I started planning. I needed to know the truth. All of it. I started keeping a journal, recording her schedule, her patterns, what she wore when she worked late, what time she came home. I even started listening more carefully to her phone calls, memorizing names she mentioned. I told myself it was for clarity, closure. But deep down, I think I already knew. This wasn't just a fling. She was in love with him. And the worst part, I wasn't even angry yet. I was scared because I realized something even more horrifying than her betrayal. I had a secret too, and mine could blow everything up even worse than hers. I wish I could say I was the innocent one in all this, that I was just a loyal husband caught in the crossfire of my wife's betrayal. But if I'm being honest, brutally honest, I'd been hiding something too, not another affair. At least, not exactly. You see, about a year ago, I reconnected with someone from my past, Leah. She was my ex from undergrad, the classic wrong time, right person situation. We broke up because we were young, immature, and living on opposite sides of the country after graduation. But Leah had moved back into the city. She found me on LinkedIn, of all places, sent a casual message congratulating me on a paper I'd published. I replied. She responded. Before long, we were messaging almost daily. It started innocently, a friendly connection, but there was this electricity, the kind you don't feel often, that pull you pretend doesn't exist until it's too strong to ignore. We never crossed any lines physically, not even close. But emotionally, that's where the water gets murky. I would talk to her about things I didn't tell Emily, about my doubts, my restlessness, about how I sometimes felt like I was just existing in my marriage, not living. She listened, she understood, and in doing so, she gave me something I hadn't realized I was starving for: validation. When I found out about Emily and Noah, my first thought wasn't, how could she? It was, maybe this is a way out. And I hated myself for that. I mean, what kind of husband reacts to infidelity by wondering if he's now free to leave without guilt? Still, I didn't say anything. I kept pretending like everything was fine. I smiled at dinner. I kissed her goodnight. I even planned a weekend getaway just to keep the illusion alive. Because I needed time to figure out how deep this went, time to prepare myself, time to decide if I wanted revenge or release. Then came the tipping point. A mutual friend, Sarah, invited us to a birthday dinner. Emily said she couldn't go. Work emergency, of course. I went alone. Halfway through the night, I excused myself to get some air. And who do I see across the street? Emily, sitting outside a small wine bar with Noah. They weren't even trying to hide it. She was laughing, leaning in close. He had his hand on her knee. I took a picture. Then I walked away. I didn't go home that night. I checked into a hotel, turned off my phone. I needed to think. I stared at that picture for hours, her face glowing in the candlelight, the way she used to look at me. I thought about Leah. I thought about the man I used to be before all this, and then I made a decision. The next morning, I went home early. Emily was still asleep. I made coffee, sat across from her at the table, and waited for her to wake up. When she did, she looked confused, then suspicious. "What's going on?" she asked, rubbing her eyes. I slid my phone across the table. The photo was still on screen. Her face paled. For a full minute, she said nothing. Then she whispered, "I didn't want you to find out like this." I almost laughed. The absurdity of that sentence hit like a slap. Did she think there was a good way for this to come out? She started crying, apologizing, rambling about how it just happened and how she didn't mean to fall for him. I listened. Then I said something I hadn't planned to say. "I've been talking to someone, too." Her head snapped up. Her tears froze. "What?" "I didn't cheat," I said quickly. "Not physically, but emotionally. Probably." She stared at me like I'd just confessed to murder. "You're no better than me," she whispered, and maybe I wasn't. But I knew one thing she didn't. Leah had offered me something Emily never had, a choice. I could have told Emily everything right then and there, laid all my cards on the table, but something held me back. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe it was hope. Or maybe I just wasn't ready to admit how broken things really were. Instead, I told her I needed time. Time to think, to process, to decide if our marriage was salvageable. She nodded, tears still falling, and said, "I'll wait." Over the next few weeks, we danced around the truth. The unspoken elephant in the room grew bigger, but neither of us wanted to confront it fully. Emily stopped seeing Noah. Or at least she told me she did. But I wasn't sure I believed her. I started seeing Leah more often. We met for coffee, lunches, even late-night drives. It was intoxicating, easy, safe. But every time I looked at her, I felt a pang of guilt, not just for Emily, but for myself, for the man I'd become. Was this really the answer, running from pain into the arms of another? Then came the night I saw Noah again, not with Emily this time, alone. He was at a bar near my apartment, nursing a drink and staring into the abyss. I debated whether to approach him. Curiosity won. I slid into the seat next to him. "Hey," I said. He looked up, surprised. "You're Emily's husband, right?" "Yeah," he sighed. "I guess you want to kill me." "Not really," I said. "I just want to understand." What followed was one of the most unexpected conversations of my life. Noah told me how he met Emily at work, how he felt a connection he hadn't felt in years, how he knew it was wrong but couldn't stop. Then he looked me straight in the eyes and said, "I'm sorry for hurting you, for breaking your marriage, but I don't regret loving her." His honesty shocked me. It was like hearing a confession from the enemy. That night, I realized something. This wasn't just about infidelity. It was about two people lost in their own worlds, trying to find meaning, connection, and love. Emily wasn't perfect, neither was I. And Noah, well, he was just a man caught in the middle of it all. The next day, I sat down with Emily. We talked, really talked, for hours. No accusations, no yelling. Just two people who had made mistakes trying to figure out what to do next. We decided to try therapy, together, to rebuild trust, to be honest, painfully honest, with each other. It's been 6 months since that night. Emily and I aren't perfect. We still have scars, but we're healing. Leah? We decided to part ways. I needed to face my marriage head on, not hide behind old flames. And Noah? I never saw him again. This story isn't about who was right or wrong. It's about how love, complicated, messy, sometimes painful, can survive if you're willing to fight for it. If you're willing to face the truth, no matter how ugly. Because sometimes the hardest thing isn't walking away. It's choosing to stay. So here I am, sharing my story with strangers on the internet, hoping maybe someone out there finds a bit of themselves in it. I never thought I'd be the kind of person to experience betrayal and forgiveness in the same breath. But life doesn't come with an instruction manual. Here's what I learned from all of this. 1. Communication is everything. We let months of silence and secrets build walls between us. If we had been honest from the start, maybe things wouldn't have escalated. Maybe we'd have saved ourselves pain. 2. People change. And sometimes they change together, sometimes apart. But change isn't a failure, it's growth, even when it hurts. 3. Trust is fragile, but it's not impossible to rebuild. It takes time, patience, and a willingness to be vulnerable. Both sides have to want it. 4. Emotional affairs can hurt as much as physical ones. I thought my connection with Leah was harmless. It wasn't. It opened wounds I didn't know I had. 5. Self-awareness is the key to healing. Facing my own faults made it easier to forgive Emily. It reminded me that no one is perfect, least of all me. I'm not saying our marriage is perfect now, far from it. But we're honest, we're trying, and sometimes that's enough. If you're watching this because you're going through something similar, whether you're the one who was hurt or the one who made the mistake, know this: you're not alone. It's okay to feel lost. It's okay to ask for help. And it's definitely okay to hope for a better future, even if it seems impossible right now. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or want to share your own story, I'm here. Sometimes all it takes to heal is a little bit of understanding. End of story.